So last time you guys headed to Algor, while this was taking place, Aoife arranged a class in the Astral Plane with a couple other, many other monk masters to see who could pass the series of tests and things to learn these new techniques. Out of 25, you have 14 viable candidates. So right now you have 14 others to work with to engage in project. We have to separate key in old one body. So we got that going on. So you guys went to Algor. You guys met up with King Jonah. You guys asked him about storm giants. He's like, well, there might be a small problem. See, a couple days ago, the plane of elemental fire phased into Algor, so we're kind of dealing with that issue right now. As far as we know, the giants are always also dealing with such issue right now. But we're gonna help you out. We're gonna get you some frost worms, and we're gonna have you ride them to King Castle Thunderstorm and meet with the king, King Azurite, and hopefully he can help you out. So you did that. And lo and behold, the castle is being besieged not by denizens of the elemental plane of fire, but by storm giants. And it looks like the castle has been taken over by denizens of the plane of elemental fire. And that's where you are currently.
Only other thing to note for Ro, because I'm not sure if you listened to the episode, we were all, well, especially me, was dying to know what King Jonah was.
Oh
so
yeah,
we talked, okay, yeah, we talked Darren into you having True Sight prepared and cast it, so.
Yep.
So,
I did actually watch the episode today.
Would Tilda have wanted to use some True Sight and find out what the fuck was going on? Like, would that have been?
I feel like I was peer pressured.
I mean, the problem is that I, Ro, already knew what the deal was because I've watched Darren's other group. I've watched some of their episodes. And they've met this guy.
There's secrets? Goddamn.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think Tilda, I think Tilda's curious enough that, yeah, she would have wanted to figure out what was going on in terms of why this particular King Jonah has lived for so long. So yeah, okay. We'll say she had True Sight.
The Scales of Arathis. Yeah, Jonah has them. Told you what he did. Told you guys what they did.
Yep.
It's like completely changed somebody's morality. Yeah. Probably not gonna be very useful in a battle, but something to keep in mind later if you want to be pretty immoral about certain things.
I mean, we could also maybe make somebody moral. Hey.
Keep that thing away from me.
I mean, you might have completely evil reign. Do you want that?
Did it change both alignments? Like, so if you were chaotic evil, did it change you to lawful good or chaotic good?
You're not sure about the specifics about that.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, I highly doubt that it's going to be something we try to do.
Yeah. As far as you know, good to evil, evil to good is is the gist of it.
That's fair.
I mean, sure, if you turn evil to good and you have to deal with the consequences of your actions or the guilt of your actions, that will be fine. I'm sure that'll all be fine. All right, so you're on these.
Yeah,
you're on these. You're on these frost wyverns. There's a castle being besieged. What would you like to do?
So how far away are we right now? Roundabout.
I'd say you're about a mile and a half.
And how
Um,
many Frosto giant? Storm.
Storm
What are they again?
giants.
Sorry, storm giants.
Storm
Yeah, don't want to
giants.
mix that. How many of them do we? Like you said, there's like a bunch. Like they're besieging it, right?
Yeah, there's like probably 50-ish that you can see right now.
Mel is going to suggest that we go in and land, not try to sneak, but like be obvious about it so they don't think that they're being ambushed. And like land behind where the storm giant lines are and kind of like find out what's going on, and let them know what we're doing because I don't want to get some kind of like issue where we're suddenly fighting both sides due to a misunderstanding.
Can
Be
I
real bad.
look for a sigil or standard indicating, commander?
Okay. Just roll a
Or like a commander's tent or something.
Oh yeah, there's totally
Yeah.
a commander's tent. It is probably not too far away, like maybe 300 feet away from the current battlefield. It looks like a quickly makeshift tent. There are a couple of storm giants around it. Looks like they're going in and out. Probably updating whoever's inside. Yeah, so you can probably land there. When you guys get close enough, there is one of the scouts that looks like he's been watching you guys for a while with a pair of binoculars, and he will wave you in. He looks like since you did not take the stealthy approach, he looks like he's been just tracking your movements. You did not appear hostile, so he's gonna wave you in. There are several guards individuals with robes at the ready just in case something goes down. But the frostworms will land gracefully and allow you to dismount.
The persons that are here, are they all storm giants, or is it a mixture of storm giants and other beings?
Primarily it is storm giants. You do see a cloud giant among them here and there. But primarily it's just storm giants.
Okay.
One of the scouts approaches you. For a storm giant, a lanky, scraggling looking fellow, with just slightly blue tinted skin and just rough hair. Looks like he hasn't slept in a while. And he says, "I am Yair. I am one of King Azurite's scouts. May I ask who you are?"
Well, we're the heroes of Leona.
Is he speaking to us in common?
He's speaking you in common. It's a little slow, but he is speaking to you in common.
Mel is going to answer him in giant.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to say, we are the heroes of Leona, and we have come with messages of importance for later regarding some issues plaguing our world, but we are currently here to aid you in reacquiring your keep if you would have our aid.
He says a silent prayer to Cord, and you could just hear it under his breath. I was like, he's like, oh, thank God, we have help. Yeah. Any aid would be most welcome. We were very surprised when we saw you because we recognize these are the frost worms that are the property of King Jonah. But Any aid would be welcome. Come, I will bring you to our king. He's currently working with a few generals on attempting to work on a few strategies to get back into the castle. If you would follow me, please. I apologize if I cannot give you any refreshments currently. We're a little tight on supplies. But he'll lead you into the tent where there are several storm giants around a makeshift table, currently looking over a very large map of what looks like the outside and the interior of the current castle. And all talking stops when you guys enter. The largest of the storm giants, who has this magnificent like light blue beard that is like braided intricately, and he wears he's not even in like royal robes currently. He's just in like plate mail right now. Helmet's been tossed over to the side. Looks like there's a few dents in it as well. Everybody's armor looks pretty ragged. It looks like everybody's been through the grinder, so to speak. And Yair, who guided you guys in, will briefly tell the king. Will briefly tell the king, sir, these are individuals. They say they are the heroes of Leona. There is some recognition in his eyes when he does hear the, heroes of Leona. Like, kind of like, huh, I see. Kind of like, oh, yes, I've heard of you. And
as Mel enters the tent, as she's like walking in, she's gonna activate her giant stature and become huge, unless that would make her, well, yeah, because I think that what size category is a storm giant?
I believe they are huge. I will double check.
They're like 25 feet tall, right?
Yeah.
So there should be plenty. There should be plenty of room in the tent for her to also be huge. So she'll become huge.
Yeah, they are huge. So yeah, you will.
Yes.
Easy.
Like as that starts to happen, because I was gonna say this, Rain says, "Let me guess, you thought we'd be taller." And then I just gotta look at Mel like, "Yo, thanks."
Do you say that out loud, like trying to like lighten the air?
Yeah, a little bit.
Roll performance.
Performance?
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
20.
Performance is the one we use for snark.
I'd also like to, once we go inside the tent, use one of the tongues scrolls on myself just to make communication easier.
All right, done. A couple of the giants and the king himself kind of like smiles at that, like just a short chuckle. It's a weary one though.
Wow, a short chuckle. That's kind of rude. You're trying to say, huh? Bad at his knee. No.
He will, give you a bow, and he says, "I am King Azurith of this currently Legion of Storm Giants. Welcome. So Yair says you are here to provide help. Do you come from King Jonah himself, or do you come of your own volition?"
Mel will look at Zaitari to see if she wants to take lead on this, but if not, she'll speak up. She'll kind of like glance at Zaitari to see.
Yeah, Zaitari will be like, both. We had an audience with King Jonah. He informed us of the situation, and while our presence here is not 100% altruistic, we do want to help. We just have some things we would like to discuss after this siege is dealt with.
A trade of services. I expected as much, but at this point, I am desperate, and I would welcome any help that you would be able to provide.
Oh, we are more than willing to help. I just want to make it clear we will present what we would like assistance with. But if you refuse, then that is just the way it goes, I suppose.
Okay.
We will still help you.
Well, I am very appreciative of that. Allow me to just give you the situation currently. If King Jonah has informed you, I assume he doesn't know the whole scope of the situation, unless he has spies among my midst. So, a couple days ago, I had left with an emissary to a nearby cloud giant settlement. It's one of the things I do to broker peace among some of their people. During that time, the plane of elemental fire had crossed into Algor. I'm sure that someone as a group as connected as yourself has heard of these things happening as of late in different regions.
I have a quick question for you, DM.
Mm-hmm.
The plane of fire coming into Algor, that would have been after everything that happened with the plane of earth coming in down in Leona, right?
Yeah, that was earlier.
So all of the elemental bullshit is just kind of happening intermittently. It's not that it all happened at once then.
Yes, that's what it seems
Okay,
like.
okay.
Because
That was all I needed.
because Air was also involved in Feywild as well, and that seemed to have taken place at a different time.
Okay. I was thinking that the elemental air and then the elemental earth happened at the same time, but that Feywild was, time fuckery. So that was what was confusing me.
Okay.
But I understand now.
Yeah. When this happened, my son, Prince Valtor, who was still at the castle, had been taking a stroll on the ramparts, as he does. Unfortunately, and I believe there was prior knowledge of my home, because I can't believe they would be able to they would have succumbed to my defenses if they didn't know about the layout of my home. They captured my son. They killed everybody inside the castle, and somehow they have taken over the defenses and turned them towards us. I don't know how they were able to find this information about my home. I don't know how this plane crossing event they would know about such a thing, that they would be in this region at the time. There's still many questions. I just need to get my son back. I have offered them the entire treasury, but to no avail. I
will say they already have their entire treasury since in your castle.
That is true. More like I would have given them access to it easily without them needing to break in for my son. Yes, that
sure.
I apologize for not being clear. Whether or not they have broken into the treasury yet, that remains to be seen. But at this point, I do not care about that. The safety of my son is most paramount. And the reason I do know that my son is still alive is part of the castle defenses is that somebody of the royal blood needs to activate them in some way. And currently he is the only one of royal blood currently in the castle. All the others were traveling with me at the time.
Seems like a real good idea, but I'll keep that for later.
Okay. Currently we are at a stalemate with the castle's defenses, which include lightning cannons, control over the weather in the vicinity. He kind of points to it. You go ahead and roll a perception check, everybody. As he's like engaged with you and talking to you about, okay, this is what's going on, so forth and so forth.
Am I here at this point?
I guess you are. I think you would be
Yeah,
here at this
so-
point.
Okay.
So right at the end of last session, Mel basically like, we sent you we sent sendings, and then you were on the Wyvern with me, and I kind of gave you like the information on what we had seen.
That's right.
But I want to say that we we begged the DM for that to be a time that you would come out, so we didn't have to use a sending. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember
we
that.
begged for that caveat.
Yeah, we're
was
like,
like,
please.
I'll be nice.
Please, kind DM.
It amuses me to be merciful.
So as he is explaining this, everybody hears, well, you guys hear something. Those who understand giant hear Flame Leviathan, and then
Sorry, we hear what? You
Flame
cut out.
Leviathan, and
Flame Leviathan.
yeah. So there is a
Flame
Leviathan. So as you are,
I don't like that.
as
No.
you guys turn,
He said something else. He said flame.
yeah.
What?
Flame-
Yeah, this definitely wasn't Leviathan, right?
So as you guys turn, like you hear the shout, you guys turn around. There is a giant, huge, gargantuan moat that surrounds the bottom of the castle, and there is as several storm giants charge the now forcibly, lowered drawbridge that is used to get across. There is what can only be described as a giant fire whale that breaches through the moat, shattering the drawbridge into splinters, and then goes back into the water.
Nani the fuck?
I'm sorry, into the water?
Yeah, back into the moat.
Is the water boiling?
Yes. You don't know how there's a fire whale in water. It's weird.
It probably is just constantly surrounded by a pocket of steam.
Hey,
Yeah.
Lynn. Remember
Yeah.
Remember the last time you played? You made a joke about the King Jonah's going off and being
This is your fault!
swallowed
Lynn!
by.
Lynn, you did this. You did
Lynn.
this.
Lynn, the prophet.
You didn't take any gummies, did you? You're not gonna, fucking launch yourself into this whale like you did the storm elemental?
No, I got a job offer, and they're like, BT dubs, you gotta take a drug test. And I was like, oh, fuck. So I drank
Oh
a
my
lot of
God.
water. I failed my drug test. So I'm currently clean until I have to take another drug test for another job so I can actually be paid for something. So I'm currently, sadly, very sober, thank you. But then actually, like, they called me, they're like, do you take any prescription medications? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, well, you had THC in your system. I'm like, well, that's not a prescription medication. I don't know why you asked me about my prescriptions, but, and they're like, have you used? And I'm like, yeah, that was fine. And they're like, okay. And I was like, okay. And then, like, I was like, well,
It
there
could've
goes
been a
that job
prescription.
offer.
Not
I
in
gotta
Kentucky,
say,
probably?
not in Kentucky. You can't. No,
Oh, okay.
There couldn't be a
Then never mind.
prescription in Kentucky. But then, like, I was like, well, there goes that, because they have a 0 tolerance. And then they sent me an email today, and they're like, so we're gonna send you your equipment. And I was like, ooh, I need to email you and see what the hell's going on with that, because I'm not sure if you're going to. Anywho, so question on the giant son. Did he say how old his son is? It sounds like his son's an adult, right?
Yes. If you ask him, he is an adult. He's a young adult, but he's an adult.
So
Not a teenager, but he's
okay.
an adult.
Okay, so but we're talking like full-sized giant.
Yes.
So if we're okay, all right, that's what I wanted to know. So Mel is going to look to the group, specifically at Rain and Tilda and Zaitari, and say, I have an idea. It's a terrible idea. The king just said the defenses are keyed to royal blood, and they have to have somebody, royal in there. It's gonna be way easier to take that castle back if there's not any defenses that are, shooting lightning bolts. There's already flame leviathans. We only need lightning bolts on top of it. So what if we just go in and kidnap this guy back? I mean, is that really kidnapping? I guess it's a rescue, huh? I was gonna say
How?
reverse kidnapping, but really
How?
rescue makes a lot more sense.
How?
What?
How are we going to kidnap subtly a giant?
So what I'm thinking is this mixture of the portable hole, some stealth, some flying, and polymorph. Because if we use stealth and flying to get our asses in there, and then we find him, polymorph him into something small, stick his ass in a bag, and GTFO, boom, we're done. Also, we could just teleport our asses out of there real fast. Now, that's a lot of, magical oomph for this, but it deactivates the defenses. So really, if we just get that motherfucker out, that could be a massive blow to the defense of the castle. And I really think that we could just obviously we can't transport him as he is now. It'd be very hard. I don't think we could just teleport him as he is now. But if we weren't going to teleport, then if we were to polymorph him into something smaller.
He's too large.
Oh, you can't teleport huge things?
No.
Well, we can just polymorph his ass then.
Yeah, polymorph.
But that's good to
would
know,
be
because
the
that means that Mel would occasionally have to drop her size before being teleported. It's never come up before, though, so.
No.
Or we can just, siege the castle, but obviously they're having trouble with that.
Oh, wait, hold on. No, I could. Alright. It says, instantly transport you and up to 8 willing creatures. It doesn't specify size. I was thinking of, Dimension Door.
So the Taresk is
Yeah,
willing.
Dimension Door... Dimension Door would not work. I know that, because it has to be your same size.
Yeah.
But we could just teleport him out.
Yeah, we can teleport him out. Or polymorph him.
Which, I'll actually, kind of, because I'm assuming we're doing this kind of like a sidebar, we're kind of talking low amongst ourselves. Excuse me, Your Highness.
Yes.
So you said that the defenses only work, with, the royal, whatnot. Is it something where, it's royal blood, you have to bleed on them? Is it something where, he just has to exist in the perimeter? Does he have to be in a certain location? How does his being there affect it?
He does have to be in a particular area for the defenses to go off. That particular barrier is in the let me show you on the map. That particular area are the palace guard barrack. Actually, let me get the map for you. I'm gonna put the map. So there is a full-scale map on the table, so they will show you said map. So let me get the map. And let me enlarge
I also
the map.
probably missed it because I had to get up, but if I'm gleaning correctly, there's a defense system that because the kid is still in the castle, it's like popping off.
Yep, pretty much.
Okay.
The defenses
And
are activated, yeah.
It's against his will, or
So,
what?
what you missed is that basically the Realm of Fire seems to have actually planned this instead of it just happening because
Oh,
they actually
interesting.
like had a strike.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, really sus. This sounds odd. But basically this strike happened when the king himself was out of town. He was on a diplomatic thing. Just the sun was there. He was walking on the ramparts. The planes did their shooba shoop, and they're just like yoink, and so they yoinked the sun, and then did a murder inside. And then he was like, I even offered them my whole treasure, and I was like, yo, they've already got the whole treasury, and he's like, okay, good point, but I said I'd open it. But anyway, so they're keeping the sun. He knows that the sun is alive because the defenses don't work unless there is somebody of royal blood on the premises.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I'm going to be honest, the fact that this seems to have been like a planned strike is weird. Because everything else I really thought seemed like it just happened.
Yeah.
Though I
Yeah,
guess
like
we
the only
didn't
thing
like
that would make sense
interrogate.
is somebody knew that this planar collision was going to happen, and they started planning around it.
But I will say we don't know if any of the others weren't planned because like we didn't interrogate the storm that we fought. So it's possible that maybe there's like a pressure or premonition or bubbly, effervescence that lets them know on the other side that it's going to happen and they get their shit together
Or
and pull some
or it
nonsense.
was there is an old one that we have that we're not actively dealing with right now. So
Yeah, it's also possible that they're doing this to specifically fuck us.
yeah.
Okay, but DM, you said that the king was saying he has to be in a specific area of the
Yeah,
map, and you were going to show us where on the map.
Yep, he highlighted it. It's on the second floor in
Oh,
the
I just scroll up.
Yeah, the guard palace barracks. And typically
Really
they
close to an external wall.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Windows?
There are arrow slits.
Okay.
But are they arrow slits for giants
Yes.
and therefore large
They're
enough
probably
for
people-sized windows.
There are probably
Yeah.
people-sized windows, correct.
It is a barn door, basically.
Yeah, I really think what we could do is we could fly over there as stealthily as possible, like not wyvern fly, but like broom or like the fly spell while invisible fly, like super stealth fly. Go in a window, or worst case scenario, dimension door, because that would be short enough. And if we had vision through the window slit, you could know you weren't gonna, because it's dimension door, I think you have to see where you're going. Then we polymorph King Boy and GTFO.
You mean the prince?
Yeah. King but boy. Small. SMOL. Small king.
He's not small.
He's big boy. I know. Actually, we might not even have to polymorph him. We might just teleport our asses out.
So I could make everybody invisible. It would use my 6th level spell slot, but everybody would be invisible.
I mean, we
Would you
could
still have a
do.
slot for teleport?
We could do
Yeah.
what we did in the temple a while ago, where you make Aoife invisible, and everybody goes in the portable hole.
Yeah, I mean, I was also thinking that we're probably just going to do the portable hole
Fuck!
Aoife
Aoife can
trick.
just run around to the wall. I
Yeah.
forgot that
Yeah, because
Aoife
Aoife
can just
can
run up
run her
walls.
ass up the wall.
Yeah. I can
Wait,
run up
what?
walls, and I can run up walls extremely quickly.
I think that's probably the easiest thing to do.
I want to say if I'm a king, though, I'm probably doing some basic invisibility spell protection, especially near, you know.
Are there
That is a
any
good point.
magical? Are there, Your Majesty,
Yes.
are there any magical protections on that room?
Also, if I was GM, I would do this as well.
Yes, there are.
What sort of magical protections are in that room?
Once the defenses are activated, there are magical darkness that falls upon the windows, so you cannot see in.
But we could still
Okay.
get in.
Technically, you could still get in. And then there are alarms on all the windows in that room, so you'll have to be very
Okay.
careful, because if those alarms are tripped,
Or
it
fast.
is a audible alarm.
Is it possible to dispel an alarm on a window, or is it more keyed to the entire castle?
Each alarm is separate. So I think he talks to like one of the advisors say that you could just do it on one window, and that should be fine. I don't know if there are any additional enchantments that have been placed on since the invasion. It is possible because there are spellcasters within their ranks.
Good to know. Do you have anybody in your retinue, whatever, your peoples here, that are able to cast any sort of messaging spell to your son to let him know if give him forewarning that we were going to try to do a stealth rescue of his person?
One of the advisors says, I am Rena, and I am the King's chief magical advisor. We have attempted message sendings to his son. He is not responding.
Does it seem like he's not responding, or that your spell isn't working?
It seems he's not responding.
But
So
the
he might
spell
be
is
unconscious.
but the spell is making it to its target.
Yes, as far as I can tell, which scares me a little bit because there might be perhaps a dominate in place. We're not sure. Which would make sense how the defenses would be activated. So, currently, we are assessing the situation on that possibility.
When you sent a message to him, have you asked for a response just through a cough or something that would be audible and sent back through sending, but maybe he's being monitored?
Yes. We did do the cough tactic, and I received no response.
Then domination makes sense.
The activation of the defenses, would he need to be willing to activate them, or could they be activated if he were unconscious but in the room?
He would have to be willing.
Okay. So domination of some
We got
type.
a brainwashed giant, most likely.
You said that you've seen spellcasters in the midst of these. What sorts of spells have you seen them use? Basically, I'm trying to suss out if it seems like they are using mostly elemental magics, or if there are some sort of like fire priest in there, like if we're looking at divine magics, like
The
just kind of the school that seems to be using.
Rena says the majority of the magic users she has seen employ evocation specialty around fire.
Sure. Okay.
However, there was one individual that when the skirmish when the invasion initially took place, from from whatever last messages they were able to receive from inside before everybody was gravely injured, they had mentioned some kind of golem of some sort and some kind of wielder of blood. They're not sure exactly what that meant, other than the initial theories, because after that message was received, the sender was silent.
Cool. Okay, so if we are to remove the prince, it's possible we'll be removing him against his will. Makes it more difficult.
Rain will think over the brooch. And I might have missed something because I had to chase down a dog with a paper plane in his mouth. But over the brooch, or it's possible maybe he is cooperating for his own reasons. You did say
I will. I'll respond back over the brooch as well. Yes, there's either essentially one of two possibilities that are happening with this giant prince. He's either being mind controlled with some kind of domination or mind affecting spell, in which case I will attempt to dispel it. But if he is willing, then we'll have to take care of the problem more directly.
I would say what we could do is, I do not think that the king would be impartial enough, and this is also over the brooch, of course.
Yeah.
But she'll say over the brooch. The king would no doubt not be an impartial person to ask about this. Perhaps one of us could speak with one of the staff aside here, just kind of like on the DL, and see if that seems like something that could happen if the sun was the type that could be a possibility.
I think no matter who we talk to here, word will get back to the king about it. I mean, the third option, rather than dealing with the giant prince, would be to use a domination spell of my own and hope that it sticks.
Perhaps we could send Rain or Aoife in for some reconnaissance.
I don't necessarily feel comfortable doing that, only because the windows are darkened, and it would take us a bit of time to reach them if something were to happen.
Yes, I will say, while I would be okay with being a short ways behind them or in the hole or something like that, I would be very uncomfortable sending them actually forward on their own. It sounds like, between the enemy spellcasters and the dangerous forces, they would be overwhelmed quickly if we weren't careful.
I think a good plan would be casting invisibility on Aoife. Everybody getting into the portable hole. We go up towards the window. I can dispel magic on the alarm once we reach the window, popping my head out of the portable hole. We go in. Aoife can probably tuck us away somewhere, and then see what's going on. Because it is a giant's castle, so almost certainly there will be big items with which we can hide in.
Aoife is, of course, faster, but I'm still a little better at the sneaking. No offense.
Also, would it be easier to try to dispel the spell in the window, or to just dimension door pop in the room, which would be simpler?
Well,
I'm asking legitimately.
it's-
I'm not a
yeah.
spellcaster, so.
if it's just an alarm spell, that means it's lower level. Well, I should say it's a weaker spell. So I should be able to easily remove it. Dimension dooring feels a bit overkill.
That's fair. Okay. I was thinking dispel was higher than it is. Maybe.
No, it's lower. But also, I would need to be able to see in. Well, I don't have to with Dimension Door, but it's risky as fuck for me to Dimension Door without being able to see in.
That's fair. That's completely fair. I was thinking dispel was higher than it probably is.
Dispel is 3, Dimension Door's 4.
Oh, okay. I was thinking dispel was 1 higher and dimension door is 1 lower. I had them both flipped. Fuck this needle. I'm gonna throw it away. Bad needle. Go. So how long has this been going on? What was the timeline that we were given as far as the days that this has been happening?
So Plane of Fire, Elemental Fire came in a couple days ago. So the king had left around that time. And the siege of the castle took, well, by the time that they have killed everybody, it was probably maybe 6 hours in from the initial invasion now. So it's been about like 2 days now, at least.
Okay. Domination spells, if it's like dominate person, do those have anything like a like it lasts for 24 hours only, or can you just re-up it? Like if we're looking at just like dominate monster. Because Zaitari, you have dominate monster, right?
Yeah, I do.
I also have dominate monster. Each time the target takes damage, it makes a new wisdom saving throw against the spell.
We're just gonna slap this kid a bunch. And just be like, save, damn you! Save!
That's a little different.
I mean,
if it's Gaius.
Mm.
We had thinking. To on what's her name? Tamara's kid. We had to dispel that shit off of her. Like there was no other way to do it.
Yeah. I'm thinking we'll have to probably do that again. Because it sounds like I was originally thinking they just knocked his ass out and stuck him in there and that was enough. But if he has to be willing to turn on the defenses, then yeah, I'm guessing we're gonna have to spell whatever's on him. And then, but I do think that our best bet is going to be to go in, try to get his stuff dispelled, get him out. I don't think we should try to fight our way through while he's in there, because if we get him out, then that means that the defenses will be much weakened, and the storm giants can go ahead and mount an assault somewhere else, and we can do like a 2-pronged assault of some sort. That way they're not having all their forces fuck with us. So I definitely think that this should be an in and out and then go back type thing. I don't think we should try to just like pop through, because I really think that we would be better served if the storm giants were also trying to get some shit done and we were all like attacking at once.
I'm just throwing this out there. I could try scrying on the prince.
Ooh, that's a great idea.
Now, if you were, what information could you glean? Do you think you would be able to find out what is controlling him, or who is around him, or
Yeah, but like if he's sitting in a prison cell, just like staring at a wall, drooling, then it's likely that he is not in charge of his mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if
Yeah.
he's walking around free as a bird, chatting with whoever was in charge of this assault, then he's more likely working with them.
Um, as Tilda suggests a possibility of scrying over the brooch, Mel will address the king again and say, Sire, do you have any trinkets from your son? Any sort of souvenir of his that we could use to try to look in on him magically? Or have you all tried that? You've tried to send messages. Have you tried any sort of scrying into that area?
We have not tried. We do. Rena says I did not have scry. I did initially try scrying the young master, but unfortunately he was able to ward off my attempt. AKA he saved.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, the king says, unfortunately, I do not have anything of my son's currently.
Damn.
And I
Make
can't
the
use
DC real hard.
Yeah, I can't use a portent roll because I can't see him.
What time of day is it?
You guys, it would probably be late afternoon.
Okay.
For Scry, do you just need to know a target's name to be able to do it?
I mean, here, I'll just ping it for you.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's a lot of fucking text in
Yeah.
Scry.
So
I'd be second
okay.
hand.
Yeah, so but if we
And without anything tangible.
So
Yeah,
I
come on.
think
Who doesn't keep a little lock of toenail clippings? Come on.
I'm gonna look to their spellcaster, who's been talking every once in a while, and say, do you possess any illusion magics that you could produce of the prince so that we could see him, become a little bit more familiar with his likeness?
Yes, actually. I can give you a projection of him. I need to just take a look.
Because that will at least help.
Well, yeah, because
So-
then at least we know who we're trying to save. You'd be like,
Yeah.
which one is the prince?
Yeah, she will cast a major image because she still has that spell slot available of the prince, of Prince Valtor. Yeah, just young storm giant male, with hair that's long enough hair to be put into a braid. He doesn't have a full beard, but he has that 5 o'clock shadow. Bright eyes. Probably 25 feet tall, like all giants. But you have a clear image of him now.
I like the idea that all giants stop growing at 25 feet tall. No more, no less. Just 25 feet.
25. It makes dancing really nice because you're the same height exactly as your partner.
It's like Sims, you know?
Yeah. Oh, nice. Yes.
Alright. Tilda will study the image just for the sake of studying the image. And just because she can, she'll say, "You can tell where he gets his good looks, Your Majesty."
Thank you. You're very kind.
Hopefully this kid is not known as the ugly or
No,
something.
a lot of it
Prince
has to do
Valtor,
with his
the ugly.
mother, too. He kind of just stops for a moment and sighs. It's a sad sigh.
Okay,
You want time for a
Tilda's not gonna
tragic
cry.
backstory, old man?
Yep.
The I don't remember what I was gonna say. I don't think it was important.
Okay.
Oh, the moat that goes around. Oh, what I was gonna ask was, what sort of defenses are we looking at trying to traverse as we approach the walls from the back way, from the back of the castle, basically?
Currently, other than the flame leviathan that is in the moat,
Other than that, yeah.
other than the flame leviathan in the moat. So at ground level, you are looking at, there are traps at every window. He explains there are traps at every window. These traps were designed at ground level to. I need to get something here. Give me a minute. Each window is armed with a type of trap that would shoot lightning at their target. Pretty much at some of the windows have a lightning bolt spell as their trigger. So
Cool.
Not bad. Even better if you're a giant, because storm giants are immune to lightning. Other than that, normally there would be guards posted along every major hallway, but because
Sure, we don't know where the guards might be inside. I
Yeah.
understand.
yes.
Have you seen any, other than your son, who is seemingly under some sort of influence, have you seen any of your other people trying to fight in defense of the castle? Any other people who seem to be dominated or possibly turned traitor or...
Or alternatively, is there anyone not here that might have, as my compatriot said, turned traitor?
That we have considered that a possibility, says King Azurith. However, we have not seen any storm giants fighting back any of us during the time of when we had mounted our offense.
Okay.
And
It is
this.
possible if there is a turncoat among us, but right now we have not been able to get a gleam inside the situation from inside since a couple hours within the invasion.
And sorry if I missed this. Do they know who is in charge of this takeover?
They do not.
Okay.
They just
I think that
know
the only information that we have is that it was from the plane of fire.
Yeah, that's because right now, like, even from when you guys are talking and you're seeing like storm giants, storm giants trying to pick off people from the outside, like throwing giant boulders and hurling their own magical lightning at individuals on the walls. You see the majority of them are like fire elementals, fire giants, salamanders, that kind of thing.
As we're watching the back and forth, and we would have seen this quite a bit while we were watching the castle on our way here as well. Does it seem like the fire team fire? Does it seem like they are well organized, or does it seem like they're just like very cobbled together? Like, I happen to be here and I'm doing this thing, but I don't like, you know how you'll see like infighting
Mhm.
among some groups? Or does it seem like they were infighting, or like they were all working together pretty
They're
well?
all working together.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know. So we're
Does
going
His
up against a
Majesty-
cohesive unit.
Does His Majesty have enemies on the fire plane?
I mean, King Azura says our natural enemies are fire giants for obvious reasons. Any enemies in particular? Nor my family, as far as I know, have ever traversed into the plane of elemental fire. I can't imagine my family having any enemies there unless, somebody made a trip there a couple hundred years ago and
Or perhaps your family banished somebody there?
Has there been any visible fire giants, or just other fiery beings?
there are physical fire giants.
Okay, so fire giants are a thing. Okay.
Yes. I don't think so. And Rena, who appears to be older than King Azurith, will say, in my time serving as advisor to the king and his father before him, I do not think so. Not
Ro, I
publicly.
need you to know that you've completely ruined my visual of these giants. And so now this person that's talking to us, I'm just imagining her as the elder sim, where they just got the little poochy belly and like the bad posture. So thank you for making this person into an elder sim for me.
Sorry.
I'm joking. I think it's hilarious.
Do I believe her?
Yeah, you can roll an insight if you wish.
Thank you. Bloop. Ugh, that's awful.
She seems to be telling the truth. She does not recall any. She does kind of hint, that it may have been done, there, with royal affairs, and as far as like sometimes
Mhm.
like shady things happen. As far as she knows, like the outwardly appearance publicly,
'Kay.
no
Yeah.
banishments. Privately, she's not 100% certain.
Right. All right. So public stories, definitely not.
Yes.
But private histories might
Also,
reveal something.
this could be a grudge from 400 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But usually, there's usually like family lore or something like that
oh,
might.
yeah. Now, DM, the plane of fire, does time run about the same on the plane of fire as it does on the material plane? So what
I
I'm
think it's
thinking
only the
is, if there
Feywild
were,
that.
I
I
mean,
was thinking it was just the time fuckery was mostly the Feywild, but I wasn't sure if the elemental planes were pretty similar.
if you'd like
Basically,
to
the
roll
reason
like an Arcana check just to make sure.
Sure, that'll
Do
be
you want
something
me to
Mel
roll that
knows.
Arcana check?
No, Mel's gonna, yeah. I don't have advantage.
You're fairly sure
no,
that
I've got a thingy.
you're fairly sure that it's about this. It's like the same as like the prime material plane. Time is
Okay.
about the constant.
So if they had banished somebody there 600 years ago, they'd probably be dead by now. Is kind of what I was thinking. So
I mean,
probably
only if.
depends on what they are.
Yeah. We don't know how. Do we know how long giants live generally? Probably not, because they seem to be fairly reclusive from, human society. Humanoid society, I should say.
I mean, that could be another Arcana check.
Bloop.
They roughly live about 600 years.
Holy
Hmm.
I
hell.
guess could be rolling around still,
Could be.
but they would know about it because they all live around that time. So
Hmm. You know, like Sims. Like they all reach 25 feet tall, no more, no less, and live for 600 years, no more, no less.
most
They were
giant
all
lord of all
born
time.
at the same time.
When they were born, they had a favorite color.
Yep.
It is still their favorite color.
Hmm.
Can't think of
And a
anything else we
favorite
need
dish.
to know. Ooh, I can't think of anything else we need to know to get this rescue mission underway. Can anybody else think of anything we might be forgetting that we need to ask before we try to go rescue Prince Boy?
Can't think of anything. off the
While
top of
you're
my head.
discussing this, the king asked if there's anything they can do. Maybe try to lean heavier on one side of the castle, fighting-wise, to cause more of a distraction away from you guys, for
That would
example.
certainly be
Uh,
helpful.
yes,
We could-
I was actually going to say our plan is that we are going to try to remove your son from the castle so that it can be more easily taken back. To do that, we are going to try to stealthily enter and extricate your son. For us to do that, it would be easier for us to bypass the defenses if the defenses were, distracted elsewhere. So I would say that if your men wanted to mount an attack on a different side of the castle, and try to especially distract any archers or spellcasters that are up there trying to deflect people coming close, that would be a very useful thing.
Oh, that
So,
Leviathan.
yes. Hopefully the Leviathan's not an issue. Oof.
I will control Aoife's character. So, okay.
So if we get a general layout of the
Yeah,
place.
so the map is right in front of you.
Yeah, you scroll up.
Mhm.
So King Azurth will say, so let's say our forces currently will focus more on the right side of the castle, while you go for the left side where the palace barracks are, and hopefully that will cause enough of the distraction for them to focus on us while you guys go towards where the defenses are and possibly where my son is.
Yes.
Okay. We can do that.
You don't have to waste lives. Don't go into extreme. But if you are able to distract those archers, it's one less archer that's going to be looking for us. So
Understood. We
Um,
will
Your
attempt.
Majesty,
Yes.
we should also perhaps discuss. I know it is a sensitive subject, but what we are meant to do should we find that your son is not as loyal as one would hope.
Rena, you see Rena has kind of like kind of like cleared her head and nod at this, and King Azurith takes a deep breath and says, one of my generals had brought up the possibility, Roland, always thinking, and if possible, I would like it if my son was captured alive, if possible, and if that was the situation. What are you trying to gain
It's-
insight
Oh,
to?
I was gonna see if he was pretty honest with what he said. Sounded like so. Just if he, what did he think? Like, do you
Right.
think?
He seems honest. Like he seems like it pains him to think that his son would do such a thing.
What about everybody else in the room? What's their response? Is their response like, "Oh yeah, that fucker," or more like, "Yeah, that's unlikely"? Like, as should I roll an insight?
But you know,
You
it's
can
not
roll
a
an insight.
surprise when Rain steals something. No one's surprised when that happens.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking like when we say this, is the advisor like, "Ugh," or like, "Eh."
The advisor did. You're not sure what the advisor is thinking. She's trying to keep like a straight face during this time, as a royal advisor would try to, poker face. As far as you can tell.
Sure, that's fair.
But
We will
Rain,
certainly.
yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, but
Continue.
Rain, yeah. That he does would pain him if that was the case.
Okay.
We will certainly endeavor to return the prince alive, regardless of his loyalties. However, if for whatever reason we are unable to, I wish to ask that we suffer no reprisals if we are unfortunately forced to do something more.
To defend ourselves, should we be put in that
Yes.
situation?
That.
The king takes a deep breath and says, "There will be no I swear to you, there will be no repercussions if such a situation arise." And he says this in front of his general, his
The entire court.
the entire court, and they will nod.
Basically.
Yeah.
Tilda kind of grabs her Arathis medallion and sort of traces the whatever the symbol on there, just like with her thumb, and just sort of bows her head. Thank you, Your Majesty. Understood.
Mel will kind of speak up and say, "We have before had a situation where we fought a powerful but controlled person, and we were able to dispel the magics upon them. And while I think that person did get punched a few times while we were trying to dispel those magics, we were successful in doing so, and we will do our best to make sure that we bring no harm to your son as much as we can."
Thank you.
All right. That's all I can think of.
All right. So, are we wanting to? What I'm thinking that we would be. What are you doing? That's not where you live. 318. 318.
You're correct. That isn't where I live, but I'm outside because Jack decided to make a fire, and I wanted to sit out here.
Oh, I'm doing a really complex cross stitch, and one of my yarn, one of my flosses, just loose over here.
Okay, that makes sense as well.
So I have 8 different needles, and they're all labeled different numbers, and he's a loose boy, just throwing himself to the wind over here. But I've only got one Lucy, so I know it's 318.
Okay, I gotta know what cross stitch you're doing. And by the way, when did you pick up cross stitch?
A couple weeks ago.
I thought your new thing was felting.
Wait.
Many hobbies. Many hobbies. I don't have a job right now, and I've been real bored. So
Fair enough.
I've been doing hobbies. Okay. Um, okay, so are we thinking that we want to do a...
Oh my god, the needle minders.
They're adorable, right?
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
really cute.
I'm thinking we can do whole style or we can do group invisibility style. Which do we think is better?
Whole, absolutely. That saves way more. Like, because I only have one 6th
Magical,
level
yeah.
spell slot, so I'd much rather, make Aoife invisible, everybody get in the hole, and she run up the castle wall. So,
My concern about that is making Aoife cross the moat, which has a fire leviathan in it.
Well, we
I
could
could.
probably we can just toss her on the broom to get her to the wall.
I could also. How wide is the moat? Garrett?
The moat is about 50 feet wide.
Okay.
Actually, no, wait. How big is this? Wait. How big is this?
Yeah, I was
Hold
gonna
on.
say it might have to be bigger than that.
Yeah. 150 feet wide. I am sorry.
Okay. I can
Okay,
clear
fucking
that
moat.
with Dimension Door. I can probably honestly get her right to the castle wall. Because it has a 500-foot range.
Yeah,
Like,
I
depending on
just
where
want
we stand, I can get us over. She flopped down the portable hole, I get in, she's already invisible. Then we run up the wall. But we would definitely need the distraction to be able to do this.
yeah, I think distraction's gonna definitely help.
Yeah, just let them know when to start shifting forces to the right side. And yeah.
You can set up friends. And
All right, I think that we're ready to do this bad boy.
Okay. So the king, Rena, the advisor, and several other generals, will walk out of the tent, and they'll start directing their forces to focus more on the left side. It's gonna take like 15 minutes to like relay the messages to all the leaders and to do like a slower shift, because they, like you said, they don't want to lose anybody right now, and this will just be causing a distraction currently for you guys to get in. Okay, I gotta make a few rolls for them.
Well, everyone dies.
And then, so for your portent, you have to see the thing making the roll, right?
You can replace any attack roll, saving throw, or ability check made by you or a creature that you can see. Yep, with one of these foretelling rolls.
because we could maybe use that to try to make sure that the Flame Leviathan doesn't see us, but it sounds like it spends most of its time under water? Question mark.
Question mark.
So,
Did we
I don't
want to attempt a scrying
On what?
the
It
prince
sounds
just to
like-
see if it would because he might,
I mean, we can try. I'm willing to try. I just
spell level is that?
it's
Isn't it,
a
like,
5th level,
fifth?
I believe. Yeah, and I mean I've got
what's your spell DC? Your base DC 20 something?
it is 20.
so it's
Okay, and
pretty
so-
high.
And then you'd have so second hand means that you'd have what, -5? Is that how I'm reading that? It says -+5, so I don't know what that.
Yeah. So it's
So-
that the
Yeah.
save modifier is +5.
And
So
then
there'd be a
with
25
the
that you'd
image
have
at
to roll
least,
at that
with
point.
the illusion that the caster was able to provide, it would give a -2, so he'd have essentially a +3 to save.
Okay, so he'd have a +3 to his save and to roll a 20 or higher. I mean, if he was saving against this person and they know spells, it's possible that he'll save, but it's possible that he won't. I mean,
And I mean
up to
this
you.
person, the other person, is probably much more familiar with him, and that's why I'm kind of like, eh.
we also don't know what their spell DC is, though. They might be a really low level spellcaster compared to you. Their spell CDC might be closer to like 15 by default. Maybe.
It could also be that, he got lucky. So
Yeah.
I know,
You know,
and
Possible that he has a really fucking high wisdom score and or there's magical protections on him.
right, exactly, and so it's like, I can try.
I mean, how common
If
is just
guys,
walking around with an amulet of non-detection? Like, is that a common thing?
I mean, they're very
they probably
expensive.
wouldn't have even tried doing the scry spell if they just had that on.
That's a good point. If they'd known he possessed one, they wouldn't have even tried. And that's a good point. Yeah. If you want to try, yeah, we'd be down. We can wait. Honestly, that'd be something we could do basically while they're sending their signals and getting their people in
Mhm.
order.
mm,
If you want to do it then.
we don't need plane shift for today, right? At the moment, probably not.
I mean, unless we wanted to take the fight to the plane of fire.
Oops,
Seems like a
accidentally
bad
fell in the
idea.
portal to the fire plane.
It's kind of like in League of Legends, where like you're backdooring because somebody's doing something else. You're like, I'm gonna go attack your base.
Instructions
Oh, are you-
unclear. Ended up in portal to the fire
computer-
plane.
The computer that I'm working on, that's just the random computer that has the network card that's working, the touchscreen is overactive, and so it thinks I'm poking it right now, and it looks like a toddler's licking my screen. Like, I swear to God, I'm apparently a gremlin because every computer I touch dies. I've got 3 computers on my desk, and none of them will fucking work.
Yeah, you really do have like the computer luck as far as them just shitting the bed on you.
Now, I will say the 2 that are literally stacked on top of each other right now are both 5+ years old.
Told you, Lynn,
Laptops.
gotta cut back on the porn.
It's just riddling your computer with viruses. I'd call them STDs, but
If there is anything that gets me viruses on my computer, it's probably the mods that I put on my games.
yeah.
Like, and I try my best to get like safe ones, but like I know that if there's nonsense, that's almost definitely where it came from. Yes, I mod Stardew Valley.
Yeah, I do too.
I mean,
I want to do a Stardew Valley game with that new. Well, I guess it's not new. That like complete overhaul mod that adds all the new characters and stuff too. Because That
To
would
be
give me.
honest, the one that changed my experience so much is just called Automate, and all it does is it takes stuff out of boxes and it puts them in stuff and it puts them back in boxes. So I take a chest, I put it beside my smelter, and then I toss all my ore and my coal in it, and it does its thing. I don't have to touch it.
Yep.
Best mod ever. Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, I had that one too when I was, because I was like, I'm not gonna be able to deal with
Yeah, I
this
got too many
boxes
cows.
thing.
I don't want to just make cheese all day every day. Thank you.
So yeah, I'll scry on the prince of the giants.
Okay, so
Storm
it would
giant.
would it be a 17 DC because it's second hand? I think we determined.
Yes, technically.
Yeah.
Is that, or he would get a +3 to try to beat 20.
Okay, +3. Got ya. He fails. Okay, so
You're shitting me.
he does. He rolled pretty low. Okay, so this is what you see. You're in a room.
Moving.
No.
It's like when Scanlan goes into when they've infiltrated Whitestone in
Oh yeah.
Legend of Vox Machina. And Count Tyleri is on the shitter.
All right. So, but
we're in a room.
Yeah, you're in a room. So you see him. He is currently cuffed with shackles.
Okay.
He's sitting in a chair. He's not moving. He's kind of just like blank stare to a wall. Not a wall, but towards the windows, but back against a wall. There are several individuals in his vicinity. What?
I said to the windows, to the walls. Is
No!
Yeah. No, I was just doing that in my head, so I understand.
There are several fire giants around him acting as guards, it looks like. And there is one.
How many exactly?
3.
Okay.
And there is one salamander.
Give us
All right.
what I know the salamander's not a little salamander. Are salamanders real big? Like, what are we talking about when you say salamander?
Salamanders are. Give me a second.
If I remember correctly, they're kind of like, fire mermaids.
Yes. Yeah, they're
to a
large.
certain extent, like they're humanoid
Yes.
up top and lizard-like on the bottom.
Yeah, they're like
And they're large-sized, apparently.
You played WoW, right, Lynn?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're I think Molten Core boss that has like snake tail orange fucker that you had to tank a bunch of people, take a bunch of tanks with. I don't know. I already forgot his name.
I'm not sure what kind of size that we were looking at, but large.
But
that
he's a
helps me.
large. He's large.
And then fire giants. Are they large or
they
huge?
are huge.
Okay, I couldn't remember if fire giants were as big as storm giants. So,
from what Tilda is looking at, or I guess able to see, does the room match the description of where he's supposed to be?
Yes. If you ask, it does
Yeah.
match the description.
And would Tilda maybe be able to make an Arcana check to see what is currently stupefying our giant prince?
Yes, I will allow that.
I didn't get the sense that he was stupefied.
Well, just not.
he's staring blankly at a wall. I guess he could just be tired.
Natural 20.
Oh, judging by his
Does he seem to have all his faculties?
no,
with him?
actually,
Interesting.
if you had to guess, dominate monster.
Okay.
We can get rid of
He's a traitor and would steal all his stuff. Gotcha.
that. Oh, okay, wait, sorry, no, he's definitely not dominated. Traitor, we get to steal all of his stuff. We're the princess now.
Look at me. Look at me. I'm the prince now.
I mean, come on, guys. I'm tall enough, right? So it's good.
It's true, you could get big enough. We could probably disguise you, maybe look like it.
I did want Tilda to be a queen.
No. I'm marrying the prince. I must be supported in the style in which I've become accustomed.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have to give up your keep in Leona, though.
Only a
I
time
refuse to have any border gore. No.
2 bedrooms here is probably the size of our keep.
True, we just put the keep inside. One room.
A dollhouse. All right.
Could be completely
Let's,
changed the future.
Yep. Okay. So they are mounting a distraction. The distraction is going poorly. It looks like the flame leviathan is smarter than the average whale, and apparently has the ability to come up partially and breathe fire. The brush on
I would expect nothing less from a flame leviathan.
It's a whale.
Yeah.
It's a flame whale. So, like, you have seen
whales don't breathe liquid, so.
So, you had seen just clusters of trees here and there, being burnt to a crisp. Somehow this thing's eyesight got real good in the span of the few minutes you guys have been planning and they have been navigating their distraction attack. He has set off a fire that is slowly engulfing the brush that they're using, or the trees that they were using to hide behind. But the distraction is successful. What?
I mean, that's kind of on them for hiding. I said that's kind of on them for hiding behind something flammable. I mean,
they don't really have too many choices currently.
That's a good point. All I'm hearing is get good, scrub. Come
on. Yeah, there are a couple of people they do lose in the attack.
Oh no. Now I feel bad.
But you guys can now launch your plan. This is dimension door Aoife to the wall and to the window, correct?
So the sweat drops down his balls.
Skeet.
Stop it.
All these females.
So basically, we'll pop our asses in the portable hole. We're gonna invisibility Aoife. We're gonna dimension door across the moat, and then Aoife's gonna just monk shit their way up wall.
All right, I have a question for you then. You have a choice of 3 arrow slits. Allow me to draw them. 1, 2, 3. Which one do you want to be at?
I mean, I'd say I'd let Aoife pick, but Hemlock isn't here.
So from the scrying that Tilda did, is she able to grant us any idea of which one that they might have been closer to?
They were closer to this one. This one. Hold on. I gotta get out of my. I need to select this one.
The third
To
one
Yep, the third one.
that I just rolled a
Let's
3 and was like, hey, let's go there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Nice.
go to 3 or 2 because I feel like if we go to 3, we might be real close when we get in there. It might be good, might be bad. If we go to 2, we'll be a little further away. Also might be good, might be bad. But I think 3 might be the best. What do you guys think?
Where is the door out of this room? Out of curiosity.
The
DM?
door out of this room is
Up at the top.
there's okay. So so hold on. There is.
Is it there or is it
That's
in the
the
center?
staircase. This is in the center. There's
Okay.
actually 2 doors. There's one over here, and
Okay.
there's one over here. And
over-
your
okay.
your giant is right here, like there.
It's difficult to tell what square exactly you're pinging
He's
because
he's on
the
the
map
he's
is so
on
small.
he's on the right side.
it's fine. Yeah. Okay. I just
Um,
don't want
So
our,
2 or 3 was
our guards getting any word out to anybody.
Lynn, your thing is humming a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of bass.
All the time or just when I talk?
It was
Not
just
when you talk.
occasionally.
Stop it, guys. No.
Is it the cars driving past outside? Is it picking that up?
Hold on, I need
It
to feed
might
the
be.
cats.
Or
Might
is
be
it,
cars.
oh, you know what? I bet you're hearing Sabine snore. Sabine snore.
Oh.
Here. Well, hold on. Oh, wait, I'm just gonna get closer. Worse now.
I can't hear it.
No. I think it was a car driving by or something like that. It was just picking it up.
Okay, because I'm literally laying on the floor next to the dog snoring. Oh god. Now I can't get up. She's just like, were you laying next to me? I got up and she's just like, what's going on? My window's open, so it might have been a car. I can go to push to talk if it keeps happening, though. Actually, I don't know how to do that very easily on my phone.
I don't think you can talk on I don't think you can push to talk on your phone, unfortunately.
Yeah, I just had to toggle the mute at that point.
Yeah.
Well, we might just I mean,
I think this is.
Are we gonna
might
do
be
this
a
right now?
Discord thing.
Oh, I didn't
Get in
notice
the
how late.
window. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we'll go to the window and like see what's going on, and then
Well, here's the question. Is Aoife gonna have to make any check to do, like, to get up the wall or anything like that?
I am going to be rolling. Well, it depends on whether you guys want her to go up stealthily. I know she is invisible, but that it does grant a disadvantage on perception checks on the guards that are atop the wall currently.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I don't think she can because you have to move at half speed, and I think Aoife has to run at a specific speed to be able to gain the benefits of, running on walls.
Mm-hmm.
So
Regardless, they are going to be rolling at
it would
disadvantage.
just be a flat check.
Yeah.
So we could wait till next week, or however we do it. Because it is 11, so.
Yeah. I would say there is a lot of distraction going on currently, but there is you think there's one person, Aoife thinks there's one person that does kind of like a double take, but since she's invisible, they can't see her before she gets to the window. At that point, there was the dispel that was gonna take place, I believe.
Yes, I was gonna dispel the alarm.
Okay. Dispel the alarm, but not the darkness. Gotcha.
No.
All right. Cool. That you can do. But you're gonna have to
We'll
pop out.
Mark.
So.
Yeah. I will pop out, point, do some finger waggles at the window to get the alarm spell away. I'll just use the 3rd level spell slot on.
Okay, and that does it. When you get to the room, and this is what we see, and then we can call it for the night.
Cool.
So 2nd floor. Hold on.
Hell, this map is huge.
Yeah, it is a storm giant castle. So
It's currently black.
yeah, I am revealing the room you are in currently right now.
Oh, yep, there it is.
Yeah, yep, there we go. And then there is this dude. It's a very crowded room right now. This dude who is Frey. This dude, and you do hear somebody outside, and the storm giant. And that's who I forgot to make a token for.
Also, you said there were 3 fire giants.
Yeah, there's one on the outside. Yep. So there he is. So he would be around. I gotta make him huge. So give me a second. He's not that big. There you go. He's kind of like chilling over here. And that's where we will start next time.
How big are the squares?
5 feet.
They're 5
right?
feet. Yeah.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah. I tried to make this map very big, but it would take forever to load.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
I
So we can pick up next time.
Okay.
Next time we are playing on the 2nd.
Awesome.
I will not hear
Okay.
on the.
I can run.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. I just want to let you guys know. I'm going to be seeing my sister,
Okay, sounds good.
so I will be out of town.
All right. Sounds good.
Give your nephew lots of kisses.
I will when I can catch him.
What
He's
new
quick
fun?
little-
What new fun stuffy is he getting this time?
The cat Thulu.
Fluster.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right.
The flosser was actually for my friend's daughter, and she apparently, like, she looked at it and she was like, okay. And, like, I don't know if she knows what it is, but she still likes it. She apparently puts it on her bed, and she's like, hee hee hee. It's really heavy compared to what other stuffed animals I've given her, so I don't think she carries it around as much. I stuffed it with a t-shirt, I'm stuffing it with stuffing, so it's heavier. But it's got really big, so I was worried if I used, like, the regular stuffing, it would just come out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I told her that my biggest desire for that stuffed flosser is that, like, she likes it, maybe, like, I don't even really care, but I want them to, like, pack it up when, like, she's done with her flosser craze, and then when she's like 14, they're gonna be like going through boxes and just find this stuffed flosser, and she's gonna be like, Mom, what? And, like, that is my biggest hope, that she's just at some point a confused teenager that doesn't know why she owns a stuffed flosser.
Yes. It's like, don't you remember you were in your flosser phase, honey?
Yeah. Your toddler years when you were obsessed with flossers, and she's like, I'm sorry, what? And we're like, pull up the videos. Oh, good times.
Thank you for the game, Darren.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you for the
thank you.
game.